Good morning. How do you do? I suppose you're here for some camera and lens reviews, so carry on. What's up YouTube? Welcome, you're watching a new series I'm working on where I'm going to be reviewing cameras and lenses for those of you that are hybrid shooters. Stay tuned. So the reason I'm making this video in the first place is because lots of times with technology changing so fast, sometimes you don't find the video you're looking for with the reviews you need to test reliability and image quality. So today, as a Sony shooter, I'm going to focus on Sony shooters, and as you may already know, when you have a Sony, you have many lens options. You're not limited to just Sony lenses. And today's autofocus is so advanced that now you can use Canon, you can use Nikon lenses, and you can use vintage lenses with autofocus as well now. So today we're going to take a look at a lens that I'm interested personally, as when I was looking into it, I couldn't find much about it. So let's check it out. For those of you who don't know, this is a Minolta lens. It is a zoom lens f4 70-210. And this is an A mount. Even though this is a vintage classic lens, it does have autofocus capability. I was lucky to find this one for a relatively good price with the original hood and caps. If you can see already, I have an adapter on it, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So essentially this lens looks and feels like a modern lens. It's solid. It zooms internally and focuses internally, so there's no issues with changing size if you're worried about that. The 70-210 millimeter range is very useful. Say you're a portrait photographer or you're just taking some fun snaps at the zoo. This range comes in handy, especially when you use it on an APS-C sensor. But for those that are interested, this is a full frame lens, so you will get your 70-210. The image quality is excellent. It's a classic lens. There's going to be some issues with it. It's imperfect, but it gives quality to it. It's like its own signature from that time it was made. So now to the good stuff. So everything works. You can find a copy of this for as low as $50, sometimes $80 depending on the condition. I found mine in perfect condition. It looks pretty brand new. There are very few scratches and use to it. Electronics look good. So the way I use it, I already have my wedding equipment and gear, so I wanted something that can have a little bit more reach when I'm just taking photos for fun, or let's say I wanted to do a more classic portraiture and I want that classic look. I would pick this one up and no problem, I could use it. So right away, lots of you already know, you use this lens with an LAEA4 adapter to use on your Sony camera. I use mine on A7RII, A7II, and A6500. This adapter has its own autofocus system, which enables you to use a classic lens like this that has a screw drive. It's not internal. So you just pretty much mount it on there. You already know that. I'll show you with my A6500. Weight, it's not that heavy. I can hold it with one hand, usually just hold it like this, but the weight is not that bad for being a lens in that range with that f-stop. So now to the good stuff. So the moment you turn on the camera, the adapter receives power as well. And once you're on it, you're actually gonna see there are squares on it, and they have it's a more limited autofocus system. You're limited to 15 points when you're using this adapter, which compared to using a Canon lens is a pretty big limitation. But when you think about it, you're only really using those on the camera anyway. So you can see the focus is really good. It's almost instant. It does struggle a little bit in low light, but I mean, if you're going to be using an f4, you're probably just having fun with it, or you're doing some outdoor portraits where it doesn't really matter. Zoom range is great. See, same speed. You see right here, there's really nothing to focus on. They're just blinds, which makes the sensor struggle a little bit. So if you're going to use this lens, make sure it's contrasty, and you're pinpointing what you're going to photograph. Overall, it's a great lens. Would I recommend it for wedding or professional photography? I would be hesitant for weddings. I would use it for portraiture because it has enough speed for that. But for a wedding, I wouldn't recommend it because it does hunt sometimes. And when you're in a wedding venue and it's contrasty or it's dark, you are losing half a stop with the adapter. It's just the way it was made so that you can autofocus with it. So realistically, I just recommend using this one for portraits. Other than that, it's a fun lens to use. It's actually sharp. You get really nice bokeh, and it's just great to know that you can use a lens that's 40 years old, has autofocus on your modern camera today. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you were considering buying the Minolta 70-210, I hope this helped you out make your decision. I don't really recommend it, again, like I said, for weddings, because weddings require more speed, more autofocus precision. But for a portrait, go for it. It's under $200, $300. You can get this combination of lens with the adapter, and you're gonna have awesome portraits compared to a $1,000 lens now. So stay tuned for next time. We're going to be going through some Canon lenses, as you can probably see here. I have a couple of these that I use in my work every day, and I'm excited to show you how well they work. And I was surprised when I first started using them. And it's really cool to know that when you have a Sony, you're not limited to one brand of lenses. You got these legacy lenses, these awesome lenses that have a special touch that you now have option to use. So stay tuned, and we'll make another one of these soon.